Big Mike here with
Hayes Entertainment.
today's episode. We got Rick Dhaliwal.
If you like what we're doing, hit the subscribe button. One of Vancouver's best.
I'm Rick Dhaliwal, and I'll be coming up on the Untitled Greatness podcast.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hayes sent you.
The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. Never stop. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
This is
Hey, how you doing?
I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes
how
and
you
Big
doing?
Mike.
I got Steelers.
Oh, is that your team?
No, it's just a hat that was laying around. One of the kids got it, so I just put it on.
Oh, okay. I forgot to mention I'm joined by my co-host, Mike.
Hey, Rick.
Right. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good. Thank you very much for taking the time for us today. We appreciate it.
Anytime for you guys. Anytime. Anytime you guys want me, or if I can land Don Taylor for you, I'll do it for you guys.
Hey, we had Don already. We had Don already, and I've had the Moj on as well.
Yeah, Moj is good. Donnie's good.
Grew up in New West. What was childhood like for you growing up, and when did you first get into sports?
Well, Queensboro. I don't know if you guys are aware of Queensboro as a part of New West. Always, they got the same city hall. But anyways, grew up in Queensboro. Played road hockey 365 days of the year. It was back then in the 80s. That's all we did was road hockey. It didn't matter if it was raining, snowing, sunny. We played every day, and it was just that. Yeah, that's why the 82 Canucks team is one of my favorite teams of all time. And the 85 BC Lions Grey Cup champion team is one of my favorite teams of all time as well. I really resonate with those teams. I'm not trying to tell you I'm 500 years old, but I'm telling you, the 82 Canucks and the 85 Lions were two of my favorite teams. Because back then, we didn't have social media. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have all this stuff, right? And being a fan was just picking up the newspaper, reading about your team, looking at the stats package. Like growing up, as soon as that newspaper came, I ran to the paper, ran to the sports section, and looked at the stats. The stats they came out every Tuesday for the CFL. Hold it a second. Yeah, I think it was every Monday or Tuesday they came out. And I would just, Roy DeWalt, Larry Key was the running back. The stats were huge back then. And all we had really was the newspapers. So, it's just a different time now, Ryan. And Mike, look what we're doing. If we couldn't have did this 20, 30 years ago. There's no way.
Oh, no kidding. And really, we only just started this in June last year. So we're at 307 episodes in about a year. So we're pushing, and it's because of COVID. We got stuck sitting at home and got bored out of our minds. I can't go to Canuck games because I'm a season ticket holder. Mike goes to a lot of games as well. And Lions are shut down. I can't do anything. I'm stuck at home.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm so mad at this. I just want normal back, right? I know it's hard to ask for, but I just want normal back. But there's a process that it's going to be time consuming. And all we're asking for is normal back. And unfortunately, we're not getting it right now.
Okay. Well, we were asking you about the New West thing. Where did the whole cornfield thing come up with that Donnie always says?
Honestly, it's an inside joke. I can't go public. It's a stupid inside joke between me, Donnie Moj, and Ryan Henderson. And these guys, it's the worst part of Donnie and Moj is anything I say to these guys, they go to the public airwaves with it. And both of them. I told them, I said, why do you guys keep saying that? Anyways, it's an inside joke. It's a stupid, dumb inside joke. And you know what? These guys just kept, and every time I would go on 1040, they'd say, and from the cornfields of Chilliwack, it was ridiculous. It was just an inside joke.
I know, because he didn't have a Wikipedia page to get homework on. And then, so I'm having to be like, okay, well, he's obviously from Chilliwack.
I'm a New West guy, Queensboro guy. I am not from Chilliwack, but because of these two, I started getting texts and emails. Are you from Chilliwack? And I'm like, oh, fuck. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm from freaking West Queensboro. And then because of Donnie and Moj, everyone thinks I'm from Chilliwack, which is ridiculous. Nothing. It's a great place. It's a great place.
Yep.
When and what made you get into broadcasting?
It was just, Mike, what I talked about, Lions, Canucks in the early 80s. I just fell in love with the 82 team, the 85 Grey Cup champs. And I was just that stats guy. And I just loved stats. I was a stats geek and a freak. And then 86, I graduated from New West. And then I thought, I wasn't really good at school. And I just thought, well, what can you do? And I saw this ad in the Vancouver province that said you on the air, and I'm like, what the hell, you on the air? And it was a private broadcasting course. I took it, and then I got into radio, and since 91, I've been in it since 1990-91.
What challenges or adversity did you come across in getting to where you are today?
What challenges? Say that again.
Challenges or adversity did you come across in getting to where you are today?
Oh, lots of challenges, lots of adversity. Back then, I had it from my own family. Nobody believed in me, and nobody thought I would make it. They were kind of like, "What are you doing?" Nobody, there's nobody of your ilk out there doing it. And I had a lot right from the beginning. I had a tough go. But in terms of starting in radio in '91 in Fort St. John, I went up there and covered junior A hockey, junior B hockey, senior hockey. I didn't have any. The adversity that happens, Ryan, is within yourself. Can you make it? You got to work hard. You got to have a passion for what you do. I had the passion. I love sports. But then there was the other angle. Can you improve and get better? Because I wasn't very good when I started out. And that improvement comes from something called self-improvement. And back in '91, I'm going to tell you this story. You remember Neil McRae and Dan Russell?
Yep.
Yeah, Neil McRae, who I just absolutely adored and loved, and got to work with him late in my career, which was just so good. Neil was the best. Anyways, back in '91, I would send, because my boss at the small station I was working at didn't know anything about sports. So I would send Neil McRae tapes to critique, and Neil would mail back and send them back to me. And when I got to NW in 2008 or 2009, I'm sitting there going, wow, I'm working with Neil McRae. And back, 15 years earlier, I was sending him tapes to, check me out. So a lot of it is self-improvement. Can you improve? Can you get better at your job? And I was not very good when I started out. I was very raw, and I was lost at times. But I think that inner fire that kept me alive in terms of the job, and I kept getting better, and I wanted to get better. You have to get better. You're no different. All of us are no different than that guy in Utica that's trying to get better to get to the Canucks. We're all trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's for sure. We'll get it. We got a bunch of questions for the Canucks. I just wanted to run maybe 10 minutes through your life and stuff, and then we'll get into the Canuck talk.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I'll hit him with a dinner question. If you could sit down for dinner with anyone dead or alive, who is it?
If I could play golf with someone?
No, if you could sit down for dinner with somebody dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, boy, what a great question. Oh, oh man, what a great question. I got to think about that. You know what? I think Tiger Woods would be one. I just think that, forget about everything that's happened to him in the past few years, but just that good, that young, the pump and the fist in the galleries, we're following him, the Masters wins. I think he would be the guy. And Mike, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like, I'll pick someone locally, but nationally, for me, it would be Tiger Woods. He is just so good, was so good. He's just an interesting, fascinating human being, and the way he climbed the ranks. And a lot of people don't know this. BCTV had audio or visuals of him when he was really young golfing in Victoria. I don't know if you guys have seen it. But,
no.
I think 15 or 16, he was golfing at a tournament in Victoria. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. But for me, it would be Tiger Woods, 100%. Locally, I would say to you, Pavel Bure. Pavel Bure would be. I'm sorry, Mike, but for me, the most exciting Canuck of all time, no one comes close for me, is Pavel Bure.
Of course.
Every time when he picked up the puck at center, you got out of your seat. You just started to get out of your seat because you knew he was going to gather speed and he was pushing that other D back and he was going to go around them like a hoop around a barrel. For me, Pavel Bure, Tiger Woods nationally.
I like it.
Mike always goes with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
then for me, I always go with Tupac or Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth Rogen, what the fuck?
Yeah, it'd be awesome to sit there and maybe puff one and have a drink with Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, I like that. But Muhammad Ali would be obviously a really good one by Mike. But for me, it's Tiger and Pavel.
Yeah, I was at Pavel's first game, of course. I mean, everybody probably says that, but I was actually there.
Well, that's good. That's good for you. And I can't tell you enough how exciting that guy was. Obviously, you know, but for me, there's never going to be a player as exciting as Pavel. No way.
Yeah, me neither. I'm a little bit older than Mike here, so so I remember the Pavel Bure. Yeah. Do you have any hidden talents besides reading people's names out loud on the radio?
Other talents? No, I'd be screwed. I got nothing. I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm not doing radio, I don't know what I'm doing. That's a flat out honest statement. I grew up on a farm, so I could probably farm. If you want to really know the truth, I could easily farm. But if I'm not doing radio, I have no idea what it's been my life, 31 years. I just can't imagine anything else. I just can't. I just can't even imagine what else I'd be doing. I think a lot of media guys, Ryan, if you ask them, they would say the same thing. Like, we love our job so much. I know Don Taylor, he's a legend, and I can't understand what Don would do or anybody else. When you love your job as much as we do, boy, I just can't imagine what else I would do.
That's for sure. Yeah, and I was made a comment there about, remember the time that the guys were texting in the fake names and they had you reading them on the air.
Are you talking about Dick and Cider?
Yeah. That was
you know what? You guys caught me off guard. Like, these guys are creative. Like, like I got nailed twice in one day. Like, my boss was breathing down my neck, and I'm like, what the hell do you want me to do? These guys, you read the text, but at the end, it says Dick and Cider, and I'm like, what the hell? These guys that are texting in, they're good. They're good. They're creative. They're creative. You know?
Hey, did you ever see the guy at the Canuck games that dressed up as Don Cherry? Have you ever seen that guy?
No. I think I saw him on TV a couple of times.
Yeah, that's me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
Shit. Yeah. I didn't have that in my notes, but I thought I'd toss that in there.
Rick, we had Milan Lucic on last week, and he was chirping Ryan, saying Ryan looks like a bald Marchand.
Hey,
I saw you guys got Lucic on.
Yeah.
That's very impressive to get Milan on. You know, a quick Milan Lucic story, because I remember at the Memorial Cup in Moncton, we were out one night, and his dad was at our table, and I was talking to his dad, and he was saying to me, you know, my kid got cut a lot, and you know, but he never gave up, and you know, Milan didn't go in the Bantam draft, and he was playing junior B when Scott Bonner found him at a Delta Ice Sox game. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Milan Lucic. I love guys that made the NHL the tough way, the long way. You know what? He can't skate. You know what? I call BS. Milan Lucic has played 1,000 games in the NHL. You can't play 1,000 games in the NHL if you can't skate. You can't. Oh, yeah, you can't play 1,000 because you know what? If you got a skating problem, you're not getting past game 10 in the NHL. And Milan Lucic is just, he wasn't the kid that was the stud growing up, but damn, he did good, and I'm proud of him, and I just love the way his journey. He never gave up, and those are the type of guys you cheer for. The ones that weren't supposed to make it, but they made it through hard work, dedication, passion, and no quit. He had no quit. Milan Lucic had no quit. And the other one that people don't realize, for a guy as a listed player to play for Don, to play for Don Hay is not easy. It's not easy. To play for Don Hay, you got to play well in your own end, and you got to be able to check. There's the two things that if you can't do well, you don't play for Don Hay. So you know what? I'm glad you guys got him on. Just a huge fan of Milan, a Vancouver kid. He made it. So happy for him.
Yeah, so are we. He was great.
I think he's gonna
very nice.
Yeah, I think he's honestly gonna end up here, and I really hope he does. I hope he ends his career here, signs like a 2-year contract for cheap, and comes home, because he definitely sounded like he wants to. So
yeah, well, they talked to him. You know that, Mike. When he was a free agent before he signed in Edmonton, they talked to him, and they took him up and everything else like that. But Edmonton just put together one hell of a package for him. I mean, he actually told us that he made less. The Edmonton Oilers offer was less than the Canucks, but the chance to play with McDavid. So that's it. And you know what? There are times, I'm not going to lie to you, like the night that Simmons grabbed Edler. There are nights I wish Milan Lucic was in Vancouver, because you know what? If Milan Lucic is playing for the Canucks and Simmons goes after Edler, well, maybe he doesn't if Milan's in the Vancouver lineup.
No, I exactly. Agree. Yeah. So
I miss Gino Ojic on nights like that. I miss Derek Dorsett. I got a soft spot for tough guys and the job they do. But boy, oh boy, that night, if the Canucks had a bit more toughness in the lineup, Simmons would have been held accountable.
Talking about tough guys, it's nice that the Canucks finally called up Jonah Gadjevich, because I think he's going to bring a lot of toughness to the lineup too, and he ain't scared to drop the gloves with anybody.
Yeah, and his just so you know, Mike, his quarantine ends tomorrow. He most likely will play Monday or Tuesday in Winnipeg for the Canucks. And there's another guy, Mike, tough guy, physical. He improved his skating this year, and he's the leading Utica in scoring. There were some questions about his skating last year and the year before, and then all of a sudden he improved it. And that's the great thing, Mike, about these players. You can rip a guy for his skating, but guess what, Mike? You can improve your skating. That's something you can improve. You can improve your shot. You can improve your skating. You can't really improve your size. You can't, you can't improve your body, and you're obviously physically mature. But two things you can do is you can improve your skating and your shot. Even when you're at the NHL American Hockey League level. Jonah Gadjevich, what a story. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of people had him written off last year. He was having a tough time getting in the lineup, healthy scratch, a lot of times on the fourth line. They even played a defenseman in Utica as a 7th D ahead of him last year. So you know what? He wasn't getting in the lineup. And look at this year. He's leading the team in goals. You never give up on a player. You never. You don't know if they're going to get better.
Good. Well, we got a couple of those guys that we would expect to see in the lineup next year for sure. One thing I wanted to ask first before we got to there, what would you tell inspiring broadcasters who wish to get into sports?
Say that again.
What would you tell inspiring broadcasters who wish to get into sports?
Yeah, I just I would tell them take the course, which is Ryan at BCIT.
Yep.
Just love what you do. I'm just a big believer in if you love what you do, improvement follows. I think that if you love sports and you want to get into sports radio, you want to get into writing, you want to get into television, you can do that. Anybody can do that. But love what you do. Continue to get better. The day you think you know it all will be the start of the day of your demise. Now, I've been in the media 31 years. Every day I try and get better. I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I have to get better. And that's the bottom line. The moment you think you know it all is the start of your demise. The most powerful tool in the world is learning, developing, growing. It never stops. It never stops. If you think you made it and you got it and you are 100% there, you're never 100% there. No one's ever 100% there. You guys look at your guys' show. To get a guy like Milan Lucic, you're thriving to get better. You guys went out and got him. That's a huge get. But you know what? You had to think about it first. Everything starts with a blank piece of paper, and then the human mind adds to the paper with creativity and thoughts. And I think that the biggest advice I got for kids that are getting into the game, you have to love what you do. That's number one. Number two, you cannot stop getting better, because the moment you stop getting better, the one thing that will stop is improvement. It will stop.
Who's the first superstar you covered in the junior leagues while you rode the bus?
Oh, that's a great. I know him. You remember Terry Ryan, 9th overall? To the Montreal Canadiens. Well, yeah, you remember Terry Ryan? Well, Terry Ryan was from Newfoundland. He played in Cornell as a 14-year-old or 15-year-old. He went from Newfoundland to Cornell, then the Tri-City Americans. That was the first guy. I was like, holy smokes. And then I remember Sean Horkoff. I remember Jason Weimer. You guys remember Jason Weimer?
Yeah.
I was covered with Jason. There was a guy named Dodie Wood who played for the Canucks, signed a draft pick, second round San Jose. That was the first NHL draft. I covered Dodie Wood for 2 years when he played in Fort St. John. He went to Seattle. Dodie was a second round pick in, 92, 93. Anyways, but Terry Ryan, I watched. Jason Weimer, I watched. Horkoff, I watched. I'm going back to the early 90s, right? So those are some of the first guys when I covered junior A hockey that were the guys that made the NHL.
Perfect. That was a write-in request from one of your big fans that sent me in that question, so I had to get that on there. Mike?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you must be just as excited as me, Rick, having Utica move to Abbotsford.
Yeah, I think and Mike, I'll tell you 2 reasons why players are excited, because the visibility from coaching staff and general manager. So when the Canucks players were in Utica, they never knew when Jim Benning was coming, right? They never knew. But look at the situation next year, Mike. Those players in Abbotsford, they know that the general manager is 45 minutes away. Coach is 45 minutes. Travis Green may have an off day and say, you know what? I'm going to go down and watch the boys in Abbotsford. This is a absolute phenomenal thing for the players when the coaching staff, the scouts, and everybody is 45 minutes away. In Utica, they never knew. They never knew when the Canucks were watching. But now the Canucks are 45 minutes away. That is massive for the players. Massive.
What's your favorite sports movie?
Sports what?
Movie.
A Slapshot. When I covered junior A hockey, we used to put the video in. We'd go to the video store on the road trips, and the guys would put the video. I watched Slapshot 550 times, and I'll keep watching it. Great movie.
They still do. They still do all the prospects that we interview. Like, we've got pretty much, I'd say 90% of the first round of the NHL draft we've already interviewed. So wow. We and a lot of them tell us that they still watch Slapshot every day on the bus.
Phenomenal. And you laugh. You know a movie's good when you watch it more than once and you still laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch it 5 times and you still laugh. And there's parts and bits and it doesn't get old. Slapshot doesn't get old for me. It just doesn't get old for me. I haven't watched it recently, but I can tell you I've seen it 500 times because of road trips with the boys on the bus.
That and Happy Gilmore for me.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And a part of Happy Gilmore, was filmed at Portal Golf Course, right?
And Swanee Set, I believe, in Newark or in Maple Ridge.
Was it Swanee Set or Peace Portal? I swear there was one shot at Peace Portal.
Oh, there might have been 2. There could have been 2.
Yeah, because I was at Peace Portal last night. I'm pretty sure one scene was at Peace Portal. I'm 100% sure. But you're right, Swanee Set as well.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with this one, and then we'll get into our Canuck ones. If there's $1,000 prize on the line, and you and the boys are all out having a couple of your Crown Royals with, what song are you singing in karaoke if you had to win that $1,000 prize?
Billy Joel, Piano Man.
Okay.
I love that song. That's my favorite song. That's the song I could listen to on a loop for 10, 20, 30 minutes. I just, and working with Taylor all week, that's the song I got to fucking impress with. So every Friday, I listen to Billy Joel and Piano Man because working with Taylor 5 days a week drives you freaking nuts.
Exactly. And what's it like working alongside the GOAT, Don Taylor? What's it like working beside the GOAT, Don Taylor, every time?
He is, all jokes aside, he's a legend. He is the biggest name in Vancouver. There's no one that comes close. We're all just nobodies. The thing about Don Taylor, people don't realize is his creativity level is through the roof. And he loves local stories. Like there was a player for the Colorado Avalanche that made his debut 2-3 weeks ago. And Don said, let's get him. And he was a local Langley, Kyle Burrows. And Don, let's get Kyle Burrows on. But you know what? And Mike and Ryan, his thinking is always local, but his creativity levels, like he knows entertainment. He just gets it. He knows what the viewer and the listener wants. Like whether it's radio or TV or newspapers, he gets it. He's smart. You know what he is? Before he's a sports guy, he's an entertainer. He knows how to entertain. He knows. He gets it. He is
definitely the greatest.
Very few get it. Don Taylor gets it.
Yep, he's definitely the greatest.
Unbelievable. The best. And he is tied with Barry McDonald. They are both the two best I think this city's ever seen. Barry, by the way, we're going to have on our show Monday, Donnie and Dolly. Barry McDonald, who, in my eyes, him and Donnie are side by side, two of the best in Vancouver. Barry is just, you know what? When he left our media, it was a bad day for Vancouver. Barry McDonald is simply the best. There's no one there as good as Barry. I'll tell you that much right now.
Another name that comes to mind, but not really in the sports, Bro Jake.
Oh, bro, he just texted me. He just texted me last week. Oh, Bro Jake is the best. I've been in the media 31 years. I can tell you right now, Mike, Ryan, Bro Jake is one of the most talented guys I've ever worked with. I mean, he is just, first of all, the best pipes. You're not going to. No one's got a voice like that. Like I got a shit voice. I don't even know how the hell I made it. I got a shit voice, but Bro Jake, oh my God, he is so talented. He's good. He's such a good guy. I was just texting with him last week. Very, very, very much respect for Bro Jake. Much respect.
Hey, Mike,
back to the I was gonna say back to the Crown Royal because that's one of my favorites as well. What did you think of the Northern Harvest small batch? Yeah,
I'm a traditional guy, Mike. I don't touch anything new. You know that apple Crown Royal? Didn't touch it. Not touching anything. I just want the original. That's it. No gimmicks. Nothing else.
Have you ever been to Gimli, Manitoba? Then
I haven't, but I've heard a lot about it. What's that harvest we're talking about?
It's Northern Harvest. It is just whiskey, but it's just aged longer. It's really good.
Oh, okay, so it's just out right now?
Yeah. It's really good.
No, I just get the original. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay.
Goes down good.
Hey, what was the? This one's a new question just added right now. Where did you go have your first drink? And I believe I saw this on your Twitter.
Oh, yeah, Mugs and Jugs.
Loved it.
Hey, first of all, a New West guy, right? So you know, if you're a New West guy, you back then you were going to find your way to Mugs and Jugs eventually. And right beside it was Chicago tonight. Yeah, Chicago tonight was right beside it. Mugs and Jugs was just an absolute phenomenal place. It was spent many a night there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
We probably crossed paths in there because I used to tear it up. I used to tear it up in Mugs and Jugs, and I know remember when they had the best chicken bites at the little restaurant next to the stage.
Yeah,
they had.
But that Mugs and Jugs folded eventually,
and then went to Surrey.
They went to across the Patella Bridge when you go down, and it was just on the left side there. And I don't know if it's there. I don't know if it's still.
Yeah, the Turf, I think it was called, the Turf Hotel.
That's it. But the original Mugs and Jugs was absolutely phenomenal. It was a pretty busy place, believe me.
A funny story about that, though. So I used to strategically plan my single life. So I would hit Mugs and Jugs for the pre-game. You have a bunch of beers, get all wild up, watch some ladies. But knowing next door that there's a whole bunch of girls doing the exact same thing for the guy. There's one guy stripper. So all these girls are horny as fuck. And I'd make sure I was the first person. I wanted to be the first person in line when they opened the door at Chicago's at 11. So I'm the first person in line. So all these horny women got to stare at me as I walked in.
Hey, and that door, there was a door
in between.
That would you could cross the door and go over to Chicago tonight. Yeah.
Good.
You didn't have to crowd. But you know what? That New West, that area, there was the Royal Towers too, and just the street was Casablancas, and there was a ton of spots there, right around that SkyTrain area.
Yeah, my first job was at the Paramount. I was a DJ when I was like 18.
There's another one, Paramount. That was right by the old Army Navy. It was right by that old Army Navy, and that Army Navy was there so long, Mike and Ryan, and they eventually finally took it down. But that thing was there for so long, that Army Navy on 6th Street.
Yeah.
It was a huge part of New Westminster. Huge.
Yeah, definitely. Max Domi for Jake Virtanen. You sent him to Columbus?
Domi's he's got a higher contract. I can't see that. I can't. The Canucks right now, guys.
No kidding. That's what.
Yeah, they're still trying to bad contracts. I think you might see a buyout or two this year to get them into. And don't forget, they have to also. They really have to. They got to save every penny for Pettersson and Hughes.
Yeah,
They have started preliminary talks with Pettersson and Hughes, very, very early stages. But I'm telling you, they have to figure out a way to save a lot of money to pay these two superstars who are absolutely phenomenal young players.
And we just interviewed Sven Barchi too, also last night or the night before.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And we were saying how I asked him the question how his salary cap, or does he regret signing that big contract knowing that now the Canucks can't afford to put him into the lineup? And he kind of said yes, but he kind of said both. He played both sides of the card, but that's one thing. I feel sorry for him. He really was hurt, and he wishes he was playing in the NHL, but he can't because of this contract. Yeah,
and I'm going to tell you something about Sven Barchi. Didn't happen for him in Vancouver, but boy, this guy went down to Utica and was from all accounts and all the people I've talked to, just a model employee. He's that 19, 20-year-old on a junior team that's got to be the good role model on and off the ice. He's got to be that for Canucks prospects in Utica, and he was. Some of the other players that I've talked to are raving about Sven, his attitude, because look, guys, the attitude makes or breaks more hockey players than anything. But I'm glad you guys got a hold of Sven Barchi. He's been a model citizen on and off the ice in Utica, and I'm really glad you guys talked to him. But as tough as, and they all have ego and pride, Ryan. They all have ego and pride. They all want to be playing with a major league team. They don't want to be in the farm system. They all want to be up high. They all got ego and pride. But sometimes ego and pride, we all get our bleep sandwich in life. And he went to Utica and made the best of it. So you know what? At the end of the day, good for him.
So with the draft coming up here, not too long, obviously, we're going to have a high pick. Do you think the Canucks will skip on Hughes at all, or do you think it's a guarantee that if Hughes is available, we're taking him?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't talked enough about the draft yet. I'm just trying to get through this season, Mike. I haven't looked too much at the draft. I'm not going to lie to you. We did try to get Hughes' brother on. He's a little bit busy with the U.S. development program, but we're hoping to get him on in the next week or two after the Worlds. But I just think that he is a phenomenal defenseman. He's going to go high in the first round. But I just don't know where the Canucks' wants and needs are right now, Ryan. I don't know, Mike. I don't know if it's a forward they want. I don't know if it's a defenseman they want, or they're looking at a goaltender. But you are right. They're looking at a high pick. The biggest thing I can say about this draft, Mike and Ryan, is they can't screw it up. You can't screw up your first round picks anymore with 32 teams because your next pick is in the second or third round, and you can't screw up the first rounders. You gotta nail your first rounders from here on in. There's just too many teams in the NHL. But I think you're right. This is a big draft for them, and if they're going to pick high, boy, I hope they get a difference maker.
Yeah, like it's loaded. This draft is loaded. I mean, you got Owen Power, you got Matty Beniers, you got the couple Swedish kids, Lysell, Edvinsson. Like it's a loaded draft.
You got the Johnson kid from Port Moody.
Yeah, Kent
Johnson, Brant Clark. Like it's loaded.
Yeah, and the he was in the Trail Smoke Eaters of the BC Hockey League. Local kid, Port Moody. He's going to go in the first round. Pretty confident. So there are good players. The Canucks should get a good player. I mean, let's be honest. And if they get any bounce or luck with the lottery, this will be a good year to get the first. Owen Power is an incredible defenseman. I know you got Quinn Hughes, but man, oh man, you when you draft defensemen and they become Quinn Hughes, that's how you excel your program. Is guys like Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, and Horvat. These are all first-round picks. That's how you build through the draft. Is when your first-round picks are difference makers and they work out perfectly, and they have. And I think with Jake Virtanen and Olli Juolevi, I think those two guys. I know they went high, and people sometimes get disappointed with them, but I think they're everyday NHL players, and I still I'm not giving up on Jake. I think he could still, if he gets in the right circumstances, still be an everyday player.
And when we had Owen Power on, he was really nice young kid, and you could see that he knew that he was going to be a good prospect down the way. The way he talked to people and he was respectful, and we had him on before he went over to Michigan, right?
Yeah,
he was playing for Chicago, I think, Steel last year when we had him on. And
that Michigan team was loaded this year.
They were
loaded.
Yeah, they were loaded with Berniers there and Mornelow and Truscott, the Canuck guy.
Yeah.
Does Jet Wu ever make this team?
Jet Wu?
Yeah, is he going to make this team one day here?
Jet Wu has had a good year. People I've talked to in Utica are very happy with him. Very happy with Will Lockwood. I think Lockwood's a guy that's going to make it in a bottom six role someday. Jet Wu has had a good year. I'm not going to lie to you. The people I've talked to, they like what Jet Wu brings. So there are some good Canuck pieces on the farm. There are some good pieces. And you know what? When your Demkos make it, your Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, Horvat, that's when the draft works, is when these guys are drafted, they go to Utica and some go straight here. I think the Canucks have done a good job in drafting the last few years. I really do.
Okay.
What did you think of Hoglander's first season so far?
Oh, buddy, he wasn't even doing this in Sweden. He wasn't doing this. He was not doing this, Mike, in Sweden last year. He was not. And he has come in. He's hard to knock off the puck. His motor never stops. He's always going. I like him. You know what? What did he get? His 10th goal the other night? I think expectations for this kid were high coming in. He's met every expectation for me. I think it was a fabulous pick. He dropped a little, Mike, in the draft because of his size. A lot of teams had him in the first round, but he dropped because of size. But he's proven to you. You know the old saying, a big guy's got to prove he can't play hockey. A small guy's got to prove he can play hockey. You know what? He's the small guy that proved it. Good for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I mean, those hands are just sick. And he's a tough little guy, too. I mean, he took one off the face, I remember, and comes back the next period. Like, you don't see that a lot. A lot of guys these days, they're done for the game after that. He came back.
But, Mike, his compete level, it's you know what? His compete level is crazy. Like, his motor never stops. He's never standing still on the ice. He's always moving his feet. I don't think that you could ever get video of that kid standing on the ice and not moving his feet. If you're Travis Green, you're loving that in a young guy because, you know what, back check, forecheck, he's always moving his feet. You got to love that. Just love it. There's nothing negative to say about Hoglander this year. Nothing.
And last question I got, can you talk about the Seattle Kraken rivalry and how this is going to be awesome? And I can't wait to get that SkyTrain so we can hit the Seahawks and the Canucks in the same weekend. It'd be great.
How about this? How about that rivalry if Travis Green ends up in Seattle as coach? How about that?
Yeah, with Virtanen and Lucic.
Hey, here's another one for you. And Chris Tanev. Just kidding. Can you imagine Virtanen and Green ending up in Seattle?
I think Lucic too. Lucic will probably end up there if he doesn't end up in Vancouver.
Yeah. And I want to see if they protect Chris Tanev in Calgary too. It's going to be interesting. But Seattle, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about, hopping in a car with the guys going down to watch a game. It doesn't have to be the Seattle versus the Canucks. It could be Seattle versus Toronto or Seattle versus the Rangers. This is another opportunity for people in this market. Your favorite team might not play in Vancouver this year, but your favorite team might play Seattle, and you get to go and watch them play. I
do too. I love it.
Hop in a car with Taylor, Donnie, and go watch a game in Seattle. I think and here's the other one for you. That Seattle area. If you look at the American teams in the Western Hockey League, Everett, Portland, all those, that's a good hockey area. Yeah. Seattle is a good hockey area. You're going to see more rinks pop up in Seattle because of the Kraken. There's not a ton of rinks in Seattle right now. But I think because of the Kraken in the next 10, 15 years, you're going to see a lot more rinks pop up. I think you're going to see more. The biggest name Seattle in the NHL, from Seattle in the NHL right now is who? TJ Oshie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think you're going to see more guys, just like the California thing when Gretzky went there, right? And all of a sudden, 10 years later, there's a ton of Californians in the NHL. You're going to see the same thing in Seattle. More rinks are going to pop up, more minor hockey teams, and you're going to see more TJ Oshies. You're going to see them make it. I think going to Seattle is just a phenomenal thing. I think it's good.
And when we've interviewed all of our players throughout the dub already, we always ask their favorite road barn and city to go to, and they always say Seattle's and see the Thunderbirds, or they like Portland as well, but Everett's, and they love that whole side, that whole trip.
Yeah, and just a side note, remember when the Vancouver Grizzlies played, a lot of the NBA players said the same thing. They said, we love going to Vancouver. It just didn't work out. But there was so many NBA players that loved when their team was playing the Vancouver Grizzlies. They got to go to Vancouver.
Yeah, I think we get a team back pretty soon.
I hope so.
Well, hey, that's a big ask because just the economics of it, right? The Toronto pulls it off because they're the most populated city in Canada. There's 5 million people in Toronto, so they can have the Blue Jays and the Raptors. But Vancouver's, I hope someday the NBA does return, but it's a big ask. It's economically.
I just got one more. Yeah, I just got one more. Rick, how excited are you for Pod Colson coming over here next year? And what did you think of Rathbone's success so far in the NHL?
Love it. First of all, Pod Colson, good question. Really, there were times I talked to people in Russia. They weren't happy with him. He was having trouble getting in the lineup. But in the playoffs, Mike, he was sensational. And he is going to be an NHL player. Usually in your top 10 picks in the NHL, you want them to be difference makers offensively. Not sure if he will be a difference maker offensively in the NHL, but this guy's going to play. He works hard. He can skate. He back checks, forechecks. I'm very excited about Pod Colson. And Rathbone the other night, Howerlich did all the work in front of the net, and this guy scoops in, bang, back of the net. Love his skating, love his stick, passing. He's going to have a wicked shot. I think Rathbone's got a bright future.
Hey, Rick, I just want to thank you again for taking the time for us and coming on. We're big fans of you, and we love watching you on every station you're ever on. And check with Donnie now, and we love watching your tweets. And we appreciate you coming on today.
I am 100% happy to be here, and we'll come on with you guys anytime. You guys are guys like you that make it all work, fans who do a tremendous job with podcasts. You guys are just as important as us, and anytime I can help you guys, I will help you.
Perfect. We'd love to hear that. We'd love to have you back on again.
It's you. I love your Seahawks stuff in the background there. That's nice.
Oh, my Canucks shrine's just as nice. I got all the Sedin stuff from the final night, all the autograph tickets and everything. They've signed everything that I've ever got from that, collected from that retirement night.
That's nice. I like that. And Mike's got the great fish tank.
Yeah, yeah, and all the Canuck. That's my Canuck wall.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at that. That is a tremendous
Everything's
wall.
autographed. It doesn't make it on the wall if it's not autographed.
That's right.
Guys like you that are important. Both of you are doing a tremendous job. And you know what? Keep it up. It's good, positive. It's all good. And it's guys like you that keep it going for the fans.
If you're looking for a mug, perhaps a hoodie, head on over to IOnlyTouchGreatness.com.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hey sent you.